Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Campervan maintenance series. In part 1 we took care of the air filter and the grounding of the engine, and in this one I'll walk you through dismantling the intake manifold and taking a deeper look at the soot contamination in the intake ports. Of course, I looked into the e-learn, the electronic manual, and it says to remove this vacuum line and also the fuel line, the high pressure fuel pipe. So this has to be a quick release. So you basically push the plastic. Okay, that's easy. You lift it up. So it's a vacuum line, nothing going on here. Okay, I have to admit I cheated a bit. I just cracked the bolt prior to filming. By removing this vacuum line, you can actually access the bolts underneath. So this vacuum line has some wheel room. I don't think it's really necessary to remove it completely. I don't think the instructions said that, but like this you can actually move the socket under here, and then let's free this one up. Also don't know if we really have to remove it. So with this one removed, you can actually wiggle this off, and I think the rubber is not, it's not in a great shape. I don't know, maybe we should detach the line. First I'm going to try and get the bolts on the underside of the intake manifold loose, and then we'll see if we can manage to get it out this way. I'm having trouble with one bolt, but when I look at the gasket, I actually see 4 holes, and with my fingers, I'm feeling 5. So I think I might be yanking at the wrong bolt. Let's go in there. This one I got off, and then we have this one, this one. It's hard to tell. This is the new gasket that I bought for the intake, and I determined this is the top side that corresponds to 6 bolt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here we have 4, but I do feel a bit more. I'm gonna take old school mirror. It still beats the front cam of my phone, and then we can see 1, 2, 3. And then we can position it right, but I checked before, and then we have the other one. So it seems like this bolt in the middle, I don't know if that's part of the intake, because it doesn't seem like I have a hole in the gasket. I hope I've got the right gasket. It looks all right though. Here at the top, we have 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's double check. It moves. Even better. We have 5. Yeah. So it corresponds. And here we have 4. So maybe I don't need to loosen that one bolt. I've been spending the last 20 minutes carefully loosening the bolts. I also moved the radiator. You can actually lift it up carefully, because you have, of course, the air conditioning hoses. They're not that flexible, but you can actually tilt it a bit forward. It gives you 5 centimeters more of space, which is really appreciated in this situation. You do need all kinds of sockets though. It's really very stubborn. I don't want to snap it, because then we are on a new level. I'm going to continue with the other ones. maybe this one is just fixed on the inlet manifold and it's not actually, you see, they all come really easy. The last one, that's rain. I'm under a tree, but when the wind blows, I'm getting wet. Can we? Yeah, I think I can get there with the extended socket. Where is it? It's all the way in the corner. I'm gonna get an extension again. There we go. Easy peasy. So just that one bolt. That is. I'm gonna leave it in there. Remove all the other bolts. I think it's gonna be a good idea to put the bolts through a piece of cardboard so I know which one goes where. I'm gonna get some cardboard now and figure that out. The extra 5 centimeters for moving the radiator back really helps. And looky, I made this cardboard intake. I'm gonna put it inside before it's all wet. The bolts are in great shape though. Well, at least up until now. See that? Don't have the right. That's the difficult one. So this is the last bolt. Well, apart from the one on the bottom. Oh, but no. Oh, looky. It's coming off. No issue whatsoever. Looky. I was expecting it to be stuck. At least needing a few hits with a hammer. Well, a rubber hammer, of course, but still. Let's see. Can we slide it out? It's still. Yeah. So it's that one bolt is keeping. Damn. So the one missing bolt is actually holding on to some, I think the fuel line and the return line, so I'll have to unscrew that. I did snap off that last bolt. I already could feel that it wasn't playing along, but we'll fix that later. It's not like in the engine block, so that is actually not a big issue. We can drill it out later. And it's weird that this one is stuck. It is I think it's the same size as the other one. But yeah, I could feel like it was moving, but the other ones, they were just like click and then they came out. This one like kept fighting. So let's see, can we actually wiggle this out? Yeah, we can, so no need to. Ooh, wow, it's a lot of muck. The gasket is fine. Ooh. Yeah, we'll take a look at this inside. Before we dive deeper into the intake manifold, I want to explain to you why that one bolt cracked. So all these other bolts, they go into the cylinder head, except for this one. This one is the one that cracked. So it cracked off here, and I think that's because it's only up until here and it corroded because moisture could get here. But it's not a big issue. We can drill out the bolt and tap a new thread in there, or maybe I don't, because I think it's quite optional. That bracket is secured with 2 bolts here and here. So anyway, I think I will just do it for fun. Yes, fun. Let's take a look at that intake manifold now. Wow. there is the, I'm not even sure how well we can clean this. There is a lot of soot, but it's not, I expected worse. It looks bad. Now, actually, I've taken off the throttle body a few times before, and what I've noticed is that that layer of soot is always about the same size. So I think it doesn't keep building up indefinitely. At some point, like you have the maximum deposit and all the rest gets just like blown out. So honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about this. But yeah, under the slogan "While I'm here," I took off the intake manifold and can give it a nice and good clean. Look at all the stuff we didn't blow into the atmosphere. So for the intake itself, I'm gonna be a bit more gentle. I'm gonna hit it with the air compressor. Which doesn't do a lot. So I guess we'll have to manually clean it, but I'm not gonna hit it with that steel brush. That doesn't seem like a good idea. I think a little bit of brake cleaner. Damn rain. We cannot do a lot. It's not terrible. Would I recommend removing it? Going through all the hassle? No. It looks bad, but the intake itself is quite alright. I don't think you're losing a lot of horsepower. Actually cleaning everything here now. Now there's easy access. Before I will, and then I will put something in the intake, make sure nothing nasty can fall in. Fuel pump looks quite all right. I have had some suspicions about a minor fuel leak, but that looks dry, right? Nothing to worry about.
I then started wasting my time on cleaning up the intake. So many people on YouTube do it, and I thought might as well give it a coat of paint while it's out. After a night of rain and a morning full of rain, we're back at some sunshine. Autumn has definitely started. Here you can see even the hood was closed, by the way. Here you always have water ingress from the air intake of the ventilation, and also here you can see I try to seal it, but here always water dripping through, so I haven't found a solution yet for that, but this is what causes many of the bolts here to rust. Known problem on this model. I did give the intake manifold a coat of paint. It's aluminum. I know many people like to sandblast it and then it looks all shiny and new. Of course, I don't have a sandblasting cabinet. And by the way, the bare aluminum will start to, I don't know, discolor anyway. So I thought a lick of paint might be a better idea. I'm happy with the result, but I really didn't bother with too much detail. Alright, I've cleaned all the surfaces as good as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to put new threads in that stuck bolt place. I wasn't able to fit new threads here in this hole because my 7mm drill is a bit blunt and my threading tool for M8 bolts is also worn out, so I need to get a new one. We're talking about this bracket here, so I'm just gonna trust that it will hold with just this one. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. This is just holding the fuel lines up. I put the air compressor in there. I tried to clean this as best as I could. I have removed all aluminum flakes that were in there from drilling, and I put the gasket in place. There is only one way that it will fit. If you turn it the wrong way around, it won't fit. Use 2 zip ties to keep it where it should be. Little trick, of course. And then we're gonna put it back on. Torque spec for the intake manifold is 30 Newton meters, and I think we best torque them in a crisscross pattern like a professional. And we're gonna put the throttle body back on. I'm not gonna use a new gasket yet because I think we'll have to take it off again for the glow plugs. But we can put everything back together and start the van, see how it behaves. This is attempt number 2, and yes, my microphone broke, so I hope it's still okay. I've added some more zip ties also on the bottom because I felt it wasn't going in the right place, so some extra zip ties that I can reach from the bottom because the corner is quite hard to reach, but yeah, we should be good to go now. I just spent the last hour and a half, maybe longer, getting those zip ties out, especially the one here in the corner. Yeah, that was really tricky. Maybe it's my inexperience, but yeah, maybe there is a better way to do it. Anyway, we're now tightening all the bolts, and then we will gonna torque them to 30 Newton meters. Is it worth taking off this intake? No, it's not. Don't bother. As we have seen, the soot buildup is just like, yeah, it's there. Now everything is clean, but I'm sure it will be there again in no time. And I have the impression that the amount of soot, every time I open this up, the amount of soot is like the same if I open it after 2,000 kilometers or after 30,000 kilometers. I guess at some point it just like gets sucked back into the cylinders. So yeah, I wouldn't bother if I were you. Let's start with this one. Also, this is a new torque wrench, and I'm gonna test it, compare it with the other one. There we go. Now we're gonna test the big boy, the one that was actually calibrated. It's also made in China, so I don't know. Let's see if we are in the same ballpark. Perfect. Just to see if it wasn't too tight. I will now torque first with this one. There we go. Seems this one is a bit, I don't know. It's a bit more than 30, I think. I'm taking a risk here, going with this brandless smooth. So I think the trick is, if you want to get this out, first add some lubricant or some WD-40 to soak the O-ring a little bit. I'm also gonna add some tape here, a little bit of wire protection, because nothing in this engine bay is safe from humidity. And after all these years, you can see this tape everywhere is wearing off. There we go. Okay, now it's time for the throttle body. Now, as I said before, I'm not gonna put on a new gasket just yet, because if we want to do the glow plugs, then we'll have to take off the throttle body again to get to this one. And I know from experience that it's quite easy to break the gasket here. It's quite, yeah, it's just paper, it's not a metal one like this. So that's why I'm going to keep the gasket that was on now. As we've done before, we're gonna add a little bit of copper spray on the balls of the throttle body as anti-seize, because it definitely helped on getting this off again. By the way, look, the paper gasket is, here's a bit of damage, but I think it's gonna be alright for now. Torque spec is the same here, 30. I think I'm going to stick with 25 will be enough. Actually, this is the first time I will torque this to spec. I never did that before. If you have an air leak here, you will definitely hear a high-pitched sound, like a whistle. And you will also see that the soot will start to come out, and that's how you know it's not sealed properly. Those are always the tricky ones. Maybe with a magnet tool. Ah. With the magnet tool, it's actually a piece of cake. I really struggled a lot with these in the past. You can go straight. This might be, yeah. Okay. The one on the left top, I rather use a little joint. So we did all of them. Now let's connect the turbo hose again, and then we can try and start the engine. Engine seems to be happy. It's time for me to go have dinner and maybe wash my face. Although it looks a bit badass, right? Anyway, I'm happy that we've done this, although it was not really useful, I am afraid. The black intake, it does look nice though, but I hope to do the fuel filter today, but I'm afraid it's gonna be for later. Now, what would you guys do when you were me? Would you tackle that glow plug problem, or would you just leave them in there and let them be? Because I'm reading they don't really help with starting. And I do have, I think, a fear that they will snap off. I think if they snap off and they didn't budge, that I could just leave them in there. But drilling them out looks like a whole new area for me. I already wasted so much time with that stupid gasket on the intake because this was the first time I have done such a thing. Luckily, we can scratch intake off the list. So I think next will be the fuel filter, and I still want to look at this. When I start the engine, I still have the feeling that something ain't right. There is some electricity lost somewhere, or there might be something wrong with the starter. I think I'm going to wrap up the episode here. I want to thank you for watching so much. I hope it was entertaining and useful at the same time. Let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe I could do things a better way. Maybe some tips and tricks. Maybe I'm a complete idiot. Just let me know, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.